Hello, and thank you for coming to Alex's conference today. I'm excited to share um, his goals and his achievements with you. We're going to first start out by going over the present level of academic achievement and functional performance paperwork. You have your copy in front of you. We're going to first look at his cognitive abilities along with reading. So Alex knows 20 of 26 letters of the alphabet, of the uppercase. He knows 17 out of 26 lowercase letters and knows 5 out of 6 of the consonants. When we're looking at books, he knows the front of the book, the back of the book, where to start reading. He's able to tell the difference between a letter, a word, and a sentence, and the end of a sentence. In reading, where we need to provide more support with him is he needs more support in letter sounds, as he only knows 6 out of the 26 letters. He also lacks rhyming skills. In kindergarten, we look for 6 rhyming groups, and he is at this point not able to rhyme any of those. Um, Also, when he is asked to show the teacher the title of a book, he isn't sure where that is, and he's not sure how many words are in sentences. We are going to writing now. So Alex is really good at writing uppercase letters and his name. What he needs to work on is starting to write in those lowercase letters, except for, the beginning of a sentence or the beginning of his name. For math, his strengths are he can count to 5. He names a circle. For kindergarten level, we want him to be able to count higher, learn more shapes, and start to do simple addition problems. So for his physical movement, he is able to run and jump, skip and stand on one foot, catch balls, use his fine motor skills for cutting with scissors and three-point grip. He needs some areas he needs work in with physical is the follow steps in a routine, follow direction, organize materials, transitions, work independently, share with peers, but he's able to, like I said, use a three-point grip. So if we're looking at his social emotional behaviors, Alex shows knowledge and interest in playing with toys and other materials. He tends to play alone, both in the classroom and outside. So we're going to work on social skills and helping him, um, start to interact with his peers. So that was part one of the present level of academic achievement and functional performance. We're going to now look at the part two, which is annual goals. So the standard that I have put on here is that identify the front cover, back cover, and title page, which we already know he knows some of that. But we're going to work on him identifying the back of the book and the front of the book, and be able to identify the titles. Um, so there will be no accommodations for this. It'll be something that we just go over during class time. Um, and then for math, we want him to be able to count to one. So the standard is for him to count to 100 by ones and tens. Now, to me, a child that's only able to count to 5, 100 is a huge goal. So I feel like we should make his goal 50 to make it more achievable for him. Um, I mean, he almost gets to 10 and he tends to skip sometimes. Later, I will talk about ways that we are going to help him achieve this goal. So social emotional, the goal that we're looking at, or the standard, is describe their emotions and the situation that causes them, the triggers. So we're looking at for him to name his own feelings when he's upset with this situation. For kindergarten, the goal is for students to be able to name their feelings, discuss their emotions, name, the triggers. You guys can work with him at home on this. We will at school. We will use books, role playing, and those kinds of things. So that kind of wraps up that part of it. Do you have any questions? Okay, so now we're gonna just kind of go over some of our daily things that we do in the classroom. Um, so you know how I teach, and maybe you can do some of that at home. Um, so in kindergarten, we're lucky enough to be able to do a lot of learning through play. Along with learning through play, I will use informal assessments. So when I say informal, I mean I'm going to watch them play and I'm going to record what he does. So, for instance, if we're using counting blocks and he counts to 10 without me prompting him, I'm going to write that down and I'm going to date it so that I can share that information with you. And then, it's not like me quizzing him to see what he knows. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, I do with him and the whole class is I teach through whole lessons and in small groups. Um, Learning in a play setting is fun. And I can provide better results instead of just direct instruction. So, like I said, I wanted to give you more insight on our day. So for math, I'll observe Alex using items to count, for example, blocks, Legos, cube counters. I'll ask questions like, I wonder how many blocks you have. If he seems to be stuck on a number, I will give him the number and see if he can keep counting. Like I said, I'll track his progress. I can do that a few different ways. One, I can have a spreadsheet, and so I can name and date it and what I'm looking for. And then I can share those um, to you through email, messengers. During a morning meeting, as a large group, we will practice counting the days on the calendar and the number of days we're in school. So when I talk about literacy, we talked about him needing more practice with letter sounds and rhyming input concepts. So just like math, we'll be during the large group, we will go over the letters. The letter of the day. Together we'll talk about what it is, the sound it makes, words that begin with the letter. Every day we'll also have a book that we read, where I'll point out the parts of the books and the other concepts that I'm trying to teach the children. We also will have literacy centers, math centers, writing centers, where their students will be able to work independently or in a small group, learning the letter sounds, learning letter writing, and many other concepts required in kindergarten. Also, one of the centers may be using their Chromebooks and using Splash Learning to help them learn the sounds. So just like math and literacy, we'll have writing centers. Children will practice writing letters in many ways. For example, we might roll out Play-Doh into letters, trace them with paint, write them with different color markers, and more. Once students have learned all letters, upper and lower, we'll start on sight words. The paper that students write letters on will be kept throughout the school year to monitor the progress. Um, So for social skills, I would really like to pair Alex up with TJ during play and lessons. They seem to have a lot in common. They both like playing and running and jumping outside, playing with Legos. So I'm hoping with my help modeling and giving them time to develop a friendship will help him with his social skills. Um, so that kind of just talks about him. But what I wanted to share with you also is we have started using Teaching Strategies Gold or TSG for lesson planning and assessments. The website is also nice because I can send messages give you ideas of things to work on at home with Alex. You can send messages back to me or videos. I can send quick little like games you guys can play to help him with the skills that he is still needing help with. I can also run a report at any time to give you progress updates. Um, this is also something we use, like I described earlier, the informal assessments. There's activities that I do, and then I just record how they um, perform during those lessons. Do you have any questions? If not, we are all set. Be on the lookout for an email inviting you to join TSG. I'm excited to help Alex achieve his goals. Using TSG is our way of communication and planning, teaching, and assessment.